Good afternoon and welcome to UNI TV's presentation of Cheers and Gears, the University of Northern Iowa's one and only source for the latest automotive and motorsports news. Today we'll be looking at Formula One, NASCAR, as well as a special segment on winter driving. All that and more just ahead. Start things off here, the latest out of the Los Angeles and the 2014 LA Auto Show. Ford officially announced the much anticipated Shelby Mustang GT350 a few days ahead of schedule. And really, we don't know anything about it now that we didn't already know. It is called a Shelby, but it doesn't follow the path of the previous GT500 as much as it does the recent Boss 302 Trackstar. The obvious target of this new Shelby is the Camaro Z28, which has received wide acclaim for being a deadly weapon on the track. Let's have a look at Ford's unveiling video.
My name's Carroll Shelby, and performance is my business.
What better way to live up to his legacy by us doing that Shelby GT350 through Ford.
Very modern new Mustang, taken to a whole nother level.
And the noise they make is just delicious.
This is by far the most ambitious powertrain program we've ever done.
This car is going to be phenomenal.
Really has been designed in our style.
This team's developed a fantastic vehicle.
Wow, that just sounds phenomenal. Now, as we just saw, the car gets appearance upgrades as well as a completely new front end and other aerodynamic touches. The car gets better handling through having a wider front track and a stiffer suspension setup than the standard Mustang. At this point, performance numbers are pretty limited. Ford claims that it's their most powerfully naturally aspirated engine ever, saying that the 5.2-liter V8 will put out at least 500 horsepower and at least 400 foot-pound of torque. Now, given the rise of Dodge's Hellcat, Charger, and Challenger, it is a possibility that Ford might have another even higher performance Mustang waiting in the wings, although there aren't really any reports to actually suggest that. Another early reveal of a much anticipated car, Cadillac formally announced their ATS-V, coming in coupe and sedan varieties. It's been spotted testing for about the past year now. At roughly the same time, Cadillac also showed off their newest race car, the ATS-VR. Now, looking at the two, there are some pretty obvious similarities. In production trim, the ATS-V will be making 450 horsepower from a reworked 3.6-liter twin-turbo V6, the same one that's currently in the CTS V-Sport. The ATS-V is taking aim at BMW, specifically their M3 and M4 twins, which makes perfect sense considering that BMW has represented the high water mark for the past 30 years. The ATS-V gets updated styling along with the power bump. The car looks a lot meaner. There's scoops and vents all over the place. You can see that they've chopped a small section of the chrome strip at the top of the grille out also to let even more air into it. In the back there's a really tall spoiler and an extra set of tailpipes. Now, overall, I'd say they're trying a little bit hard to make it look like a serious performance machine, but God, doesn't it just look so angry? Now, Audi also unveiled their new concept. It's called the Prologue, and it's a preview of their upcoming design language. It's pretty similar to what they're doing right now, but it looks lower, leaner, and meaner. And looking at it, it doesn't seem to be all that radical. Like, this is a car that I can actually picture being put out on the streets with not very many changes. The important thing about this concept is that it's really showing off what every Audi is going to look like within the next few years. All of Audi's current lineup is nearing the end of its life cycle, and they'll need to do a major update on just about everything. It's definitely a really good look to go forward with. Now, after a really quick break, we'll be back to talking about snow driving, how to do it the right and the wrong way.
College College is an avenue for learning that can lead to successful job opportunities in the future. However, the education you need cannot be gained simply by going to class. Joining Cedar River Productions is the best way for you to get hands-on experience and one-on-one help with technology that will be crucial for your future. This is your chance to get ahead of other students by gaining knowledge about new technologies. You'll be given all the opportunities to turn your ideas into reality and fine-tune your skills and abilities along the way. Make the most of your college experience. Become a member of Cedar River Productions.
I am a future Panther.
I am ready to transfer.
I am building my skills.
I am social networking.
I am investing in my future.
I am challenging my students.
I am running my own business.
I am UNI.
I am UNI. You can be too. Visit IamUNI.net.
Experience, the community, the chemistry, the expertise, the right fit, and all the opportunity in the world to create your masterpiece.
Enjoy the university experience in perfect proportion. And because we teach how to learn, the students of UNI are well prepared to create a lifetime of masterpieces. Create your masterpiece. Experience the University of Northern Iowa.
It's just right. It's the perfect size for me. When I took the tour, I just knew this was the place for me.
I don't know. It just felt right.
My professors know me.
There's so many academic choices.
I could major in anything here.
I got to do research with my professor my sophomore year.
I haven't graduated yet, and I already have a job offer. I just got accepted into grad school.
I feel confident.
I'm ready.
Discover the place, the thinking, the numbers, the canvas, and all the opportunity in the world to create your masterpiece. Learn how to learn at the University of Northern Iowa, and you'll learn you can create a lifetime of masterpieces. Create your masterpiece. Discover the University of Northern Iowa.
Welcome back. Moving on now, it is December, which as we've already seen means that snow is a daily possibility. While most of us are used to driving in the snow to some extent, it's surprising and a little bit sad to see how much some people struggle when driving in low traction conditions. The bottom line is this: you can't drive through the snow like you drive during the summer. That means that you're going to need to adjust your driving in a number of ways. Now, after the first big snow, I braved the cold and I filmed this. Let's go take a look. Now that last little maneuver there was an example of something that you shouldn't do unless you know what you're doing, like I do, usually. Anyway, that covers the basics of driving in the snow, but what about keeping your car clean? Salt's a great tool for clearing ice from roads, but it leaves that ugly gray residue all over your car, and it's not very pleasant to get a handful of used road salt when you open up your door. But what's worse is what you can't see, at least not right away. You should make it a point to wash your car weekly. Now, you don't have to spend a half hour and $10 doing it, but do spend the minimum to just simply spray down your wheel wells, underneath your car, or any other places where salt might have accumulated. Saltwater slush will fly up from the road and lodge in every single nook and cranny on the underside of your car. If it stays there, it comes in contact with the metal of your car and rusting starts. And when you wash your car weekly, you aren't allowing the salt much time to stay in contact with the metal. So to recap everything, snow driving is different. You'll need to allow plenty of time for your car to warm up. You'll also need to tread lightly on the gas pedal. You should also be aware of your car's safety features, but also know how to control your car if you lose those features. You also know how to keep your car looking nice and clean, which also means that you're keeping it safe to drive. Maybe the number one rule for winter driving, and any driving, is to be aware of your surroundings. You're going to need to allow more time for your car to speed up, slow down, turn, and everything else. Give your full attention to the road, not the radio, not your friends in the car, and definitely not to your cell phone. You're in charge of a really convenient but a really dangerous tool. Treat what you're doing with the respect and attention it deserves. Now we're going to take another short break. We'll come back with some news from the 2014 NASCAR season.
College is an avenue for learning that can lead to successful job opportunities in the future. However, the education you need cannot be gained simply by going to class. Joining Cedar River Productions is the best way for you to get hands-on experience and one-on-one help with technology that will be crucial for your future. This is your chance to get ahead of other students by gaining knowledge about new technology. You'll be given all the opportunities to turn your ideas into reality and fine-tune your skills and abilities along the way. Make the most of your college experience. Become a member of Cedar River Productions.
I am a future Panther.
I am ready to transfer.
I am building my skills.
I am social networking.
I am investing in my future.
I am challenging my students.
I am running my own business.
I am UNI.
I am UNI. You can be too. Visit IamUNI.net.
Experience, the community, the chemistry, the expertise, the right fit, and all the opportunity in the world to create your masterpiece.
Enjoy the university experience in perfect proportion. And because we teach how to learn, the students of UNI are well prepared to create a lifetime of masterpieces. Create your masterpiece. Experience the University of Northern Iowa.
It's just right. It's the perfect size for me. When I took the tour, I just knew this was the place for me.
I don't know. It just felt right.
My professors know me.
There's so many academic choices.
I could major in anything here.
I got to do research with my professor my sophomore year.
I haven't graduated yet, and I already have a job offer. I just got accepted into grad school.
I feel confident.
I'm ready.
Discover the place, the thinking, the numbers, the canvas, and all the opportunity in the world to create your masterpiece. Learn how to learn at the University of Northern Iowa, and you'll learn you can create a lifetime of masterpieces. Create your masterpiece. Discover the University of Northern Iowa.
All right, welcome back for our NASCAR recap. This is obviously a pretty big time in motorsports news as the 2014 NASCAR season and the F1 season have both just come to a close. Now, on the last Sunday night where we saw NASCAR racing, we saw Kevin Harvick crowned as the 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup champion after his first place finish at Homestead. He beat out Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin, and Joey Logano in a final four-driver shootout. Harvick made it into the show by virtue of his dominating win at Phoenix, while Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano were both able to stay well ahead of the bubble with their respective 5th and 6th place finishes. The biggest move to get into the Final Four was made by Ryan Newman, who, going into the final lap at Phoenix, looked as though he'd come up with just 1 point short. But going into the final turn, he was able to get underneath the 42 car of Kyle Larson, bump him out of the way, and sneak into the 4th slot, displacing Jeff Gordon. With that move, the 4 drivers who would race for the championship on Sunday night were all running for their first ever championship. Now, Ryan Newman put up the best fight, finishing in second, just behind Harvick, but it was Harvick who went on to go to win the Sprint Cup and the race trophy in Victory Lane.
Kevin, on behalf of everyone in NASCAR, the business, the fans, everybody in the industry, you race your way into not just a record book tonight, but a history book. Congratulations to you and the entire Stewart Hot Racing number 4 car. You earned it. You deserve it. Congratulations. We're proud to have you as our 2014 Sprint Cup champion.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he is.
The 2015 Rookie of the Year was Kyle Larson, who came into the season with relatively little fanfare. Runner-up was Austin Dillon, who received extreme attention after winning the Nationwide Championship last year and coming to drive the number 3 car for the first time since the death of Dale Earnhardt. In the Nationwide Series, another young driver is making a name for himself. Chase Elliott was crowned champion, which should come as no surprise as he'd actually clinched the championship the weekend before at Phoenix. This win makes the 18-year-old driver the youngest champion in any of NASCAR's 3 National Series. The record was previously held by Brian Vickers, who won the 2003 title at the same level of competition when it was known as the Busch Cup. This also marks the first year that a driver has won the championship in his rookie season. It was Kyle Busch who went on to collect the race win, but it just wasn't enough to take the spotlight away from Elliott, despite a 17th place finish after a late race accident. Now in the Camping World Truck Series, Matt Crafton wheeled his Menards Toyota to the first ever back-to-back championship in the series. The truck race was won by rising star Darrell "Bubba" Wallace Jr., who finished 3rd in the standings. Some of the biggest news, even now, 2 weeks after the fact, actually even longer than that now, is the fight between Jeff Gordon and Brad Keselowski. The incident started at Texas when a late race caution put a damper on Jeff Gordon's seemingly unbreakable lead in the race. On the restart, Gordon elected to start on the outside line, and in the chaos of the restart, Brad Keselowski moved up the track and punctured Gordon's tire. The incident cost Gordon a high finish and certainly contributed to Gordon's failure to make the Final Four, when he came up just 1 point short after Newman's last lap move. Now, unfortunately for fans of fights and excitement, Gordon and Keselowski raced hard but clean at Phoenix, and Homestead was much of the same. Keselowski got a 3rd place finish, and Gordon came in 10th after starting on the pole. With that, we conclude the racing season and move on to the silly season. Silly season's the time between Homestead and Daytona where drivers, crews, owners, sponsors, and everything in between are entering and leaving the sport or moving around between teams. This year's host to a number of extreme changes, the most talked about one being Carl Edwards' move from his longtime home at Roush Fenway Racing to Joe Gibbs Racing. JGR will be fielding 4 cars now, with Edwards driving the number 19 Toyota. There's still no news regarding which crew chief will be paired up with Edwards. It's almost a certainty that Edwards will have success with Gibbs, as the team has really had a resurgence in the past few years, due in no small part to their fantastic driver lineup. Also from within the Joe Gibbs camp, Home Depot is ending their sponsorship of the 20 car after 15 years. Dollar General is bumping their primary sponsorship from 27 to 30 races, and DeWalt Tools will be reuniting with driver Matt Kenseth to fill out the remaining races in the schedule. DeWalt is leaving the number 9 car, driven by Marcus Ambrose, which leads into yet another silly season storyline, as Ambrose is returning to his home in Australia to compete in the V8 Supercar Series, where he had great success before coming to the U.S. Now that his ride's vacated, Richard Petty Motorsports has selected former IndyCar champion Sam Hornish Jr. to drive the number 9. Hornish last raced in the Sprint Cup Series this March as he covered for the injured Denny Hamlin. Hornish really hasn't seen too much success in NASCAR's top series, although he did narrowly miss winning the 2013 Nationwide Championship. Given the recent success of Ambrose in the number 9 car and the return of crew chief Drew Blickensderfer, Hornish should be a solid contender week in and week out. Changes are also coming to the Nationwide Series, as title sponsor Nationwide Insurance is giving up their position to seek full-time sponsorship of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car in the Sprint Cup Series. The Nationwide Series will now be called the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Xfinity being Comcast's cable division. Sprint and Camping World RV are both slated to keep their names on each of their series for the coming year. We'll take just one more short break, and when we come back, Formula One, end of the season storylines, stay tuned.
I am a future Panther.
I am ready to transfer.
I am building my skills.
I am social networking.
I am investing in my future.
I am challenging my students.
I am running my own business.
I am UNI.
I am UNI. You can be too. Visit IamUNI.net.
Avenue for learning that can lead to successful job opportunities in the future. However, the education you need cannot be gained simply by going to class. Joining Cedar River Productions is the best way for you to get hands-on experience and one-on-one help with technology that will be crucial for your future. This is your chance to get ahead of other students by gaining knowledge about new technology. You'll be given all the opportunities to turn your ideas into reality and fine-tune your skills and abilities along the way. Make the most of your college experience. Become a member of Cedar River Productions.
I am a future Panther.
I am ready to transfer.
I am building my skills.
I am social networking.
I am investing in my future.
I am challenging my students.
I am running my own business.
I am UNI.
I am UNI. You can be too. Visit IamUNI.net.
Experience, the community, the chemistry, the expertise, the right fit, and all the opportunity in the world to create your masterpiece.
Enjoy the university experience in perfect proportion. And because we teach how to learn, the students of UNI are well prepared to create a lifetime of masterpieces. Create your masterpiece. Experience the University of Northern Iowa.
It's just right. It's the perfect size for me. When I took the tour, I just knew this was the place for me.
I don't know.
It just felt right.
My professors know me.
There's so many academic choices.
I could major in anything here.
I got to do research with my professor my sophomore year.
I haven't graduated yet, and I already have a job offer. I just got accepted into grad school.
I feel confident.
I'm ready.
Discover the place, the thinking, the numbers, the canvas, and all the opportunity in the world to create your masterpiece. Learn how to learn at the University of Northern Iowa, and you'll learn you can create a lifetime of masterpieces. Create your masterpiece. Discover the University of Northern Iowa.
All right, we're back across the pond. Formula One has just finished their season after the final race at Abu Dhabi. After the race before in Brazil, it was pretty easy to see that Mercedes was the favorite headed into the race. Lewis Hamilton had absolutely dominated the season, with teammate Nico Rosberg collecting his share of wins as well. The only other team that had been able to win this season is Red Bull Racing, although star driver Sebastian Vettel is surprisingly quiet this year. Hamilton was able to finish atop the podium, and with that finish, he laid claim to the 2014 Formula One World Championship. There are some changes set to rock the F1 world in 2015. Honda is set to return to the scene as the supplier of engines and energy recovery systems for McLaren. Honda and McLaren were last teamed up in 1992, where they finished second in the Constructors' Championship. Lotus will be ending their partnership with Renault and will now be receiving engines from Mercedes. Another story, 4 years after their debut, the Marussia F1 team will no longer be competing in Formula One racing after entering into receivership. Of course, the biggest news this year is that Sebastian Vettel is leaving Red Bull to race for Scuderia Ferrari. The deal was reported unofficially to have been worth just shy of $80 million. Assuming that this is accurate, Vettel is now the highest salaried athlete in the world, smashing Portuguese football star Cristiano Ronaldo's $52 million salary last year. In fact, the only athlete who will be paid more than Vettel is boxer Floyd Mayweather, who makes roughly $100 million per bout. Vettel's move to Ferrari displaces Fernando Alonso, who will likely command a hefty price when he's picked up, presumably by McLaren. Scuderia Ferrari has struggled through 2014, and hopefully the new talent, along with the departure of Ferrari chairman Luca de Montezemolo, will be enough to reinvigorate the team, which is one of the most serious contenders in Formula One. Some more somber news from the world of F1 involving Ferrari driver Michael Schumacher. He was placed in a medically induced coma following a skiing accident last December. Although he was recently moved into a custom-built clinic at his home and he was reported as having slowly been waking from his coma in early October, there are concerns that Schumacher may be losing his battle. His wife Karina remains confident that he'll recover, saying that she hopes he'll be out of bed and into a wheelchair by next summer. Of course, this news devastated the entire motorsports world in December, and we all wish for nothing but the best for Schumacher and his family during this unimaginably difficult time. Driver Jules Bianchi, who was injured in the race at Suzuka, is still in critical condition. He was treated at the same hospital that treated Schumacher, the Swiss University Hospital in Lausanne. And actually, just 2 weeks ago, his family announced that he's been taken out of the coma that he was placed in and moved to Nice, France to continue his recovery. Certainly hope to see Jules recover after such a horrific accident. And finally, the Haas Formula One team has chosen not to debut next season, but in 2016. The team was founded by Gene Haas, who is also a partial owner of NASCAR's Stewart-Haas Racing. The team will be headquartered in the heart of NASCAR country in Kannapolis, North Carolina, alongside the Stewart-Haas Racing Garage. The team has announced that their chassis will be designed and constructed by Dallara, and engines will be supplied by Ferrari. This is the first American team to actually run a Formula One race since 1986. That concludes our motorsports news, and that concludes our show. That's all we've got time for today, so if you're interested in this or any other program that's provided by UNI TV, be sure to visit us online, Facebook, and be sure to explore the other programs that we provide. Till next time, this is Nathan Greve wishing you safe and happy travels wherever your roads lead you.